Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Chester Mead. A lot of you guys know me as Bruce, which is my middle name. A little bit about me, I'm a poker dealer. I've been playing poker for about more than 20 years, 23 years. And I want to discuss today the Robbi versus Garrett hand. And over the past few years, this hand has been discussed, and I think 50% of the people are on the edge of whether or not this hand is legit or if Robbi Lou cheated in this hand. Over those past few years, I personally have said that I am 100% sure that she has cheated in this hand, and I'm going to go over the reasons why I believe she is cheating. Now, again, this is just alleged, just to protect myself. I don't know for sure that she is cheating, but in my opinion, I am sure that she is cheating. The reasons I'm going to point out, I'm going to walk through the video, the stream with Robbi versus Garrett. We're going to go over a few things that lead into that hand, and there are, in my opinion, too many coincidences, if you will, that say this is definitely cheating. So let's start the video, and I'll go over a few things, and I'll pause the video to talk about my points on these. But here we are on the stream where Robbi played Garrett.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hustler Casino live here in beautiful Los Angeles.
So here we are. I want to pause the video real quick just to point out the fact that the stream has yet to begin, or it is just beginning. And the first thing we see is Robbi. I forget this guy's name off the top of my head, but this is the guy that's supposed to be with Garrett. I mean, with Robbi in this stream. What's his name? I forget what his name is. I'll be reminded of that very shortly. Then we got Ryuski here. We got Eric Persons here. These are the first four people at the game. But the main thing I want to point out about this image before the stream has started is that Robbi has chosen her seat in, looks like seat number 2, with a clear view of the poker room. I don't know exactly what this office back here is. Looks like some type of cage or cashier. I've never been to this casino. I've never been to the Hustler Casino, but I want to point out that there is this room back here. Also, this table here is already playing. I will be alleging that Robbi Lou is gaining her signal from somewhere in this direction, as she needs to look for the information that she needs during the hand, not just the hand, but multiple hands. She will look in this direction when she specifically needs information. So I wanted to start the stream off, or start this video off, by pointing out where she is seated, the fact that she has shown up early to the game, and that she has specifically chosen a seat where she has a clear visual. This would have been required if she was going to be receiving a signal from somewhere in the poker room. So again, she showed up early, chose seat number 2. In my opinion, this is for a purpose. She chose that seat so she can see where she will be receiving her signal from. Now, I don't know exactly where the signal is coming from, but I wanted to point this out. Again, that's where she is seated.
California
so
day 2.
The stream begins. I believe they go into a couple hands right off the bat, which don't really tell anything. The first thing I want to do, I want to fast forward to a hand where Robbi plays. Let me find it here. Okay, this hand here is interesting. And this is one of the many pieces of evidence that will support my claim that Robbi is receiving a signal, a visual signal, and it's just a binary piece of information. She only knows whether she is good or she is not good. I have heard several YouTubers say, oh, well, I've seen a spot where she puts her money in drawing dead. But when you think about the information and the advantage of the information that she has, which is she will know if she's good by the end of the hand. She doesn't know now if her hand will be good on the river, because there's nothing shady about the poker game. The dealer is not in on it. Robbi does not know her opponent's cards. She only knows if she is good at that moment or not. So the argument that she puts money in drawing dead on a particular hand, which will happen, and we'll talk about that hand as well, but the argument that she puts money in while she's drawing dead, it doesn't matter, because she will know on the river if she's good or not. So we'll talk about that hand again, but I first want to talk about this hand where Robbi plays a hand with Ace King versus Eric Persons, who's the clear aggressor in the hand, and Robbi somehow finds the perfect play with a marginally good hand. So obviously Ace King is playable.
And the action here is on rip.
Let's let this play.
10 off initially.
So Eric Persons has 3-bet to $6,200.
Shout out to Joey Ingram.
Robbi's already in the hand. She called pre-flop.
So here we go, 3 ways, 21.8.
So both players miss.
Everybody misses. Robbi with the ace of diamonds here, Mike with the king of diamonds. And this is why you're incentivized to drive people out with ace king.
And Eric's going to put in a pretty sizable bet here.
If she were heads up, now it's...
Now, the other thing that I'm going to allege, again, where Robbi was seated during the game, if you can see my mouse, this is where Eric Persons is seated. But what I will be alleging multiple times in this video is that Robbi's eyes will glance in this direction outside of the poker room, where she is obtaining her signal, which just says you are good or you are not good. And I will try to pause it when I see her eyes do exactly what she does, because she only needs to look for just a split second to gain that information. So let's go.
Much tougher.
Okay, right there it was. I barely missed it. I barely missed it, and that's all she needs. Let me go ahead and rewind it. We'll replay this again.
Joey Ingram, Chicago Joey Ingram.
You've probably seen it, but I'm going to pause it right on that moment just so you can see.
21.8.
All right, so both of them missed again. Now, Eric's going to take an aggressive line here, and now Robbi needs to confirm if she has the best hand or not. Every time the board changes, Robbi will need to gain that information. So I'm going to keep trying to pause it here. There it is. Oh, listen, I got it paused, but she is glancing in the exact spot where she is obtaining her information. So that's all she needs to do, is do a quick glance, and she now knows that she's good in the hand. So, okay. She's gained her information. She knows she's good. Let's double check my cards. Yep, I just have ace high. Oh, what should I do? What should I do? Well, I'm certainly going to call if I'm good. And it's certainly a reasonable play to continue with ace king. She does have the ace of diamonds.
I feel like he can maybe call.
And Mike X should get out of the way here. He does. So now it's just Eric and Robbi. All right, so the deuce changes nothing. We should see now that even though the deuce shouldn't change much, Robbi still has ace high. So if it's true that she would need to look for information, she still needs to know if she's good. You know, maybe Eric Persons hit ace 4, hit a wheel, or maybe he turned a pair. Well, Robbi needs to find information again. She needs to know again if she's good. So we should see her look again, right? So let's take a look.
So both players now with a gutter wheel draw. Not a great barrel card here for Eric, but he is going to continue.
There it is. Okay, why look over there? Why? There is only one reason why she would glance in that direction. When the action is all to her right, she's looking to her left, outside of the poker room, because she needs to know whether or not her hand is still good. Okay, so in this situation, she's now being told, I'm good, and now she's facing a bet on the turn. Well, she does this play in the hand versus Garrett as well, where she's going to do the same thing. She's going to min raise the turn with the best hand, which should get a fold. It should most of the time get a fold. So that's, there she is glancing, She's doing a long time that time. Okay, she has her information. She's good.
So 2/3 here on the turn.
Proper play would just be to min raise. He should fold everything if he can't beat ace king. He should just fold everything, right?
About a half pot size bet.
So he bet $20,000. Oh, whoa, she finds a raise to 45K, a min raise.
She looked like a
with a hand which it would make much more sense just to call if she thinks he's bluffing. Just calling is absolutely fine.
Gonna raise, and little does she know she's raising with the best hand here.
It's not little does she know, Bart. She knows. So Eric's gonna think about it for a while. He eventually finds the fold. So this play is the reason I wanted to point this hand out, and not only the hand, but her eyes. Where she goes with her eyes.
See our 5K chips. Remember, she opened from under the gun and then called a 3-bet. So those low cards don't do a whole lot for her. Of course, she could have like ace-4. Sometimes you see somebody make a small raise with just top pair to sort of shut the action down, like a king-10, ace-10, something like that. It's just gonna
so there it is. The play works. Robbi miraculously finds the marginal raise with a marginally good hand there. She finds a great raise. Just the min raise on the turn makes a lot of sense if she knows she's good. Otherwise, if she thinks he's bluffing, calling sure makes a lot of sense, but she just finds that magical raise. So that's one hand that I wanted to point out, and most importantly was the eyes, right? The glance to her left outside of the poker room, which to me is where she's gaining her information. So I want to move forward. There's not many hands that she does play where we gain a whole lot of information, but I'm going to go ahead and move forward to another hand, which was talked about a lot. See if I can find it here.
I'm Doug Hopkins, and I want
we don't need to watch that. I'll cut this out.
Don't be fooled by other companies promising to get you more for your home.
For him to call.
This is not the hand.
12,000, and he calls quickly.
I also want to mention that with the camera not always being on Robbi, there will be certain times where we don't get to see her eyes glance off to her left. But in a spot like this where she makes a flush, she gets value. Does she really need to know if she's good, or is she just going to play her hand as the strength that it is? Maybe she's just going to play that properly because it's a flush, right? Or maybe she did get to look to her left and know that she was good. I don't know that she ever even checked. She just bet, got a call, and won the hand. But this is the hand that I want to talk about next. In this hand, I've heard Bart Hansen talk about this hand recently. A couple of his videos, he's come out and says, well, she puts money into the pot while she's drawing debt. But that is a pointless point to make if she only knows whether or not she's good at the moment. If she thinks she can improve her hand, and on the river she finds out that she's good, great, right? Well, if she in this particular hand, she's drawing dead on the turn to Garrett's full house. But let's take a look at it and some things that I want to point out. All right, so Garrett makes a raise with Queen 4 of spades. Robbi has Jack 8 of diamonds. She's not going to need to look for her information pre-flop because she's playing a speculative hand which needs to improve.
Robbi's going to call with Jack 8 of diamonds.
But she calls.
Blind. And Andy here going to call with King 10. So 9,500 here 3 ways. And how about trip queens here, it looks like.
All right, so on the flop,
for
Garrett flops trip queens, and he's going to bet. Now, a lot of people will argue Robbi should just fold right here because if she knows his hand, then she should just fold. But she doesn't know his hand. For all she knows, he could have ace high. And continuing in this hand makes a little bit of sense. She has a backdoor diamond draw. She can turn a pair. She can turn a straight draw. She has a lot of possibilities in this hand. So when Garrett bets, she might be thinking, oh, Garrett's betting with a lot of nothing that just missed. But Garrett indeed has queen 4, and he elects to bet 3,000. That should be a pretty easy continue for her.
Robbi's gonna call here.
And of course, Bart's surprised that she calls. Well, why would he be surprised? Wait, I guess he's surprised because, yeah, in the middle of the moment, she doesn't have much. But what she does have is the ability to predict whether or not she's good by the end of the hand, right? She will know if she's good or not. So Robbi calls. Andy's got a king, so he's going to continue here as well.
Also gonna
makes sense. All right, so here's that turn card, which makes Robbi now drawing dead. But yet she picks up a diamond draw. And this is exactly why she called the flop, to pick up possibilities, right? So now this is the moment where I've heard, like Bart Hansen will say, well, she puts money into the pot drawing dead. But again, she only knows if she's good or not. She only has that binary piece of information that says, I'm good or not. Well, of course, Jack high is not good right now, right? And she knows that. But what she also knows is that she picked up a diamond draw.
Turn is a 4, and now Garrett,
and of course that gives
Robbi now
Garrett a full house.
A backdoor diamond draw, a disaster for Robbi here. It's an absolute disaster. Start to think about when you have trip queens, you get 2 callers.
So Garrett bets 10,000. And Robbi doesn't necessarily need to look for any information here outside of the room, because again, she knows she only has Jack high. She knows she has a flush draw as well. So you can be damn sure that if she hits that flush, she's going to look for that information. She doesn't need to look now. She knows what she has. She doesn't know what Garrett has. If she did know, she would fold.
Pretty good turn pot odds of almost 4 to 1, but Garrett has bet 2 times.
I believe Andy gets out of the way here. Makes a
Robbi and Andy
very disciplined fold, gets out of the way.
Once again, nice fold.
Okay, so now it's Robbi versus Garrett. Heads up. And the 9 of spades misses Robbi. So now she knows that she's no good. She's missed all of her backdoor draws. She knows Jack high is likely no good. Maybe she's receiving that information now, but if she is receiving the information from outside of the room right now in this moment while the camera's on Garrett, she knows she's no good, but she already knew she was no good on the flop, so she probably doesn't need to look for it again. But here we are. Garrett's going to make a continuation or a bet, obviously because he has a full house.
Garrett trying to figure out, what does she have? You wouldn't think she would just have air with backdoor diamonds. He probably thinks that she has a king.
55.
Well, he's going to go 55. Put her in a box if she had a king. Or
all right, so she does look, right? She does look off into the distance. Now, why might she be checking to see if she's good? Well, when she was told on the flop and on the turn that she was no good, maybe it's because Andy was in the hand, right? Andy, in fact, had her beat as well. So what if, just by chance, Andy folded the best hand and now Garrett's betting? So she does do her look outside of the room. She always looks in this same exact direction. So she is checking just to be sure that Jack high is not good. But she's going to go ahead and she's going to make the fold here. But what I want to make, the point that I want to make about this hand is, if Robbi had made her flush on this river, and I wish she would have, because it would tell so much more about the fact that she is cheating, she would have made one of the best folds we've seen, right? She would have definitely folded her flush, because she would have obtained the information that said your Jack high flush is no good.
Or maybe.
So there she does the glance.
Queen,
but why are you even contemplating? You have Jack high, just fold the hand. Just get out of there.
If you're a man who makes at least $150K a year and you feel self-conscious about your gut sticking out, I'll get you shredded.
Oh, do a super look there. Yep, you're no good. Right, really double check to make sure Jack High's no good here. She's putting in a time bank? Why?
What is she? She says she thinks she has a missed draw. She only has Jack High. She doesn't beat Ace High.
So this hand gets a lot of
She's really thinking about here.
a lot of attention from people who are discussing this hand because she gives this so much thought. She was drawing dead when she put money in on the turn, so this becomes a piece of evidence that supports her not cheating somehow. But when you think about it as, oh, she only has a binary piece of information and she doesn't know what he has, then she would certainly put money in drawing dead sometimes to see if she can improve and beat that hand. So that's the hand those are the couple hands that I wanted to show before we actually get to the main hand. So let's go ahead and fast forward to that. All right, so that's a little bit too far.
Like won his big pot off him, and he came with like all this cash dumped on the table. You remember that? And then she like it was like his second hand in, and then like you beat him in that pot, and he's like, all right, I'll see you guys later.
So I think we all know how the hand goes, but I just want to replay it.
And like Phil stacked him, and then he was like, I'll see you guys later. That's such a great hand. And then Jason turned out to be like a superstar.
So Garrett picks up his 7-8 of clubs and he makes it 3,000. Now Robbi, Jack 4, this hand should go right into the trash, but why is she playing it? Because she has the ability to know whether or not she's good.
Wow,
And she's gonna splash around in a lot of pots when you have that ability. All right, so there's the flop.
Garrett here has flopped a straight flush draw. 10,
Huge
10,
flop for Garrett. C-bet
2,500.
2,500. And without doing much thinking, she calls.
Jack 4 with the Jack of clubs. Turn is.
All right, so the turn card. You know, this is we're going to start to see those same things where Robbi starts to look in the direction to obtain her information. So I will again pause it and go back and show those glances that she does.
Down. And this is usually when Garrett will lay the hammer down.
So Garrett is going to lay the hammer here. He bets, I think it was 10K. Yep, 10K.
He's going to bet 10.
All right, so again, we think back to the hand where Robbi played Ace 8 versus, she played the Ace King versus Eric Person's Ace 8. And she obtained her information by looking in this direction. So now Robbi's going to start to gain that information in this hand. Jack High is not a hand that any poker player should be continuing on, but she finds a way to do it. So let's see when she gains that information. And also the min raise that she made on that hand versus Eric Persons, she's going to do the exact same thing right here, because hey, if Jack High is good, there should be no way Garrett can continue to a min raise. I mean, let's face it, you just have Jack High. So if he has worse than Jack High, he should be folding 100% of the time, right? At least that's what Robbi thinks, because she isn't that bright of a poker player. She could never think that, oh, maybe he's got a hand with a ton of equity that isn't going to just fold to your min raise. But that's what she's going to do. So let's take a look.
Thousands.
Let's find that glance.
Probably been out of his hand pre-flop. She's got one club and one heart, and
so I think sometimes we might miss it as a viewer. We might miss the glance, but she does do that. You'll see in this hand.
What is she thinking about here? Is she gonna raise it?
So she does the min raise again, the magical min raise, right?
Ace King.
Now what she's thinking in her hand, Jack High, it's good. She knows that because she's already obtained the information. So min raising should get a fold 100% of the time. That's why she just min raises to $20,000.
A little bit ago.
And of course, Garrett's not going to fold.
Click. Jack 4, and you know Garrett is just so experienced.
Oh, wait, hold on, let me scratch right.
Okay, here's the most important point of the video. Again, I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm a poker dealer. I've probably dealt a million hands in my time dealing poker. What Robbi is doing right now, she's scratching her face while she makes the statement, hold on, let me scratch my face, because that's the shit I have. Nobody I have ever seen in a million hands of dealing poker, probably another 2 million hands of playing poker. I have never heard anyone make a statement similar to that. What does that statement mean? I'll tell you exactly what I believe it means. That is clearly her signal to the guy that's running the cheat with her, the guy that's going to eventually take $15,000 off of her stack. Hey, they had an agreement before the stream started. Hey, if you need information or if you're confused or you want to make sure of your spot, scratch your face, right? That's the obvious thing to do. Just scratch your face if you're in the hand and you're confused. So Robbi makes this really out of the blue, weird statement, which you should be thinking about other things in this hand, such as what could he possibly have here, or what can I beat? What is he thinking about doing? What is he thinking about raising? What am I going to do if he raises? But no, she's thinking about, hold on, let me scratch my face because that's the shit I have. Obviously, to me, that's her signal to the guy. So let's listen to it again.
That's the shit I got.
Okay, so we're 209.14. Let me go back just a little bit, just to replay that. Okay, 209.05. Here we go. She's going to say it again. Listen to the statement she makes.
And you know Garrett is just so experienced.
Oh wait, hold on, let me scratch my face. That's the shit I got.
All right, so if that is indeed her signal, I need help. I need to know if I'm good in this hand. She should then be looking for her answer, right? She's asked for it by saying, hold on, let me scratch my face because that's the shit I have. So now she's going to obtain the answer to that question, or she's, again, telling the guy, I need help. Let me know. Is Jack High good here? Because you already told me Jack High is good here. But it looks like Garrett's getting ready to do something here. It looks like he's getting ready to raise me. So I need you to tell me again, is Jack High good? So let's see if she looks for that information.
How often would she do this with the 10? Could he possibly bet 3-bet here?
Bam, right there, right there. Okay, she asked for help, and now she's looking to see, yep, Jack High is good here. And Robbi's not good enough at poker to know she cannot call with Jack High ever here. But she's being told, you're good. You have the best hand. So how, she's confused. How can Jack High be good here? Well, maybe he's got a hand like 5-6 of clubs, 4-5 of clubs, 7-8 of clubs makes a little sense too, right? But that's the only thing that Garrett could have if he jams all in or continues in the hand. So she said, hold on, let me scratch my face because that's the shit I have. Tell me again, am I good with Jack High? Right, so there she is, looking in the same exact spot. She always looks when she needs information in her hand. She obtains that information, and now Garrett's going to make the play.
She just min-clicked the turn. If he calls, there'd be about 2 pot-sized bets left, so I mean that's what's got to be going through his head here. I think he's considering 3-betting, and yep, there's the all-in.
All right, so Garrett makes an all-in, and now for 99.99999% of the players in the world, you snap fold the Jack 4. You made a play. You tried to steal it on the turn. If you're somehow crazy enough to make a turn, a raise on the turn, Garrett's moved all in. You have to fold. 100% have to fold. But the problem is that she knows she's good. She's already reconfirmed that her hand is good. So why is she going to call? Well, that's obvious, right? She's going to make the call because she's already invested what, 10K on the flop, 20K on the turn, 3K pre-flop. So she's already put in $33,000. So she's not wanting to let that money go. So she's going to find a way to make the call, obviously because she knows she's good.
Patterns, bet sizing. She sort of acted a little bit with Jack 8 of diamonds.
It should be a snap fold. She looks at her hand again. And by the way, the fact that she was just looking at her hand, that rules out the fact that she thought, oh, I have a 3, right? Because she's getting ready to say, is are 3s good? No, she doesn't have a 3. She knows that. She just double checked.
She's gonna put a time chip out. She said that she thought Garrett had a draw about 20 minutes ago. Garrett had the full house, the Queen 4 against Jack 8, and she took some time with it. And then she said,
I just want to call to see it.
See, now she's trying to come up with reasons why she's going to have to explain herself when she calls with Jack High. I just want to call to see it, right? That's what's going through her mind. How can I explain myself once I call with Jack 4?
Had me though. 3's no good?
You know, and if she had stuck with that, if she had really stuck with the thought that she had a pair of 3s, this hand wouldn't even be a controversy. There'd be no controversy if she said, oh, I thought I had a 3. But that's not what she does. She doubles down on the fact that Garrett lets her do this to her every time. Or Garrett lets her do this to him.
That's why you shouldn't be in hands like this.
So yeah, you shouldn't play the Jack 4 offsuit, period.
so
You want me to call you?
I don't know what she's thinking about here, because she loses to some bluffs like King Queen, Queen Jack types of things too.
I call.
She calls?
For once, but it's up to you.
Oh my god! What is going on here?
For once, but it's up to you.
Is it possible that her hand might be misread?
Okay, so she says twice, and a lot of people say, why would she run it twice? Well, because again, if she considers the only hands that Garrett could have here would be like a 6-5 of clubs, those are the hands that she can beat, right? Maybe he picked up backdoor hearts, but it's got to be like a 4-5, 5-6 type of hand. If Jack High is good, 7-8, those are the only like hands that Garrett could possibly have. So running it twice actually makes sense when she considers the hands that Jack High is beating, right? So running it twice makes a lot of sense to me.
And in the card graphics or something?
Because I have a shitty hand.
See, she has a shitty hand. She doesn't think she has a pair of 3s, because that's not that terrible of a hand, right? After Garrett's already said, yikes, right? If he's acting the way he's acting, a shitty hand is not 10s and 3s. That's not that bad of a hand. It's actually a pretty decent hero call in that spot. But she is a really shitty hand, and that's what she just announced.
You do? Yikes.
What?
No, I just thought this is a pure bluff catcher.
Yeah, it's a pure bluff catcher.
High?
But yeah, I don't.
It's not a bluff catcher. You lose to half of his bluffs. You lose to Jack 8. You lose to Queen Jack, King Queen, all ace highs. You lose to probably more than half of his bluffs. So it's not a bluff catcher.
I don't have. I think you have.
Oh, go to the river. The river is a 9.
That one's you for sure.
They're gonna run it
Unless you have, like, pocket
twice,
five
and
or
think
something.
so.
she's
You have,
gonna.
like, small pair?
You give me that much credit?
I don't know.
Haven't you seen what
She's
I've done?
good with the first one.
Oh. No.
And she doesn't want to show her hand because she's embarrassed. She's embarrassed to show the fact that she just called with Jack High. That's absolutely the truth there. She's embarrassed.
If the cards are correct.
What is it called?
And the river bricks out again.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I want to see. Does she have?
How many times are you gonna let me do this to you, right? Like, she's not saying, "Oh, I have a 3. I made a good call. I made a really good call on you." No, she's saying, "How many times are you gonna let me do this to you?" As if I'm such a good player that I just called you with Jack high correctly. That's what she's trying to say.
Jack 4? What? Look at
And Robbi's not surprised. She's not turning over her hand saying, oh, I have Jack 4. I thought I had Jack 3, right? That would be the exact moment you would say, I thought I had a pair of 3s. If she truly thought she had a pair of 3s, this would be her immediate, oh crap, I thought I had a pair of 3s. No, she's showing the Jack 4 as if she's proud of what she's just done, telling Garrett, how many times do you let me do this to you?
Whoa, look at Garrett's face. That's a
fucking poker right there. That was sick. Wow.
And here's the thing, Garrett's so good, he immediately knows something is wrong here. You cannot make this call with Jack 4. You cannot do it. Nobody can. Not anybody. Not even Phil Ivey, who's at the table, can make that call.
That is super, super strange. You can see his reaction. Like, what?
Jacob, you look like you want to kill me. I'm not.
She miscalls him Jacob. Jacob, it looks like you want to kill me. And I forget this guy. This guy's name is Rip, right? So Rip is obviously in on this with Robbi. He's there with her. He showed up with her. I don't know the story of whether or not he's backing her or who's backing her, but now Rip is shocked at this hand, and he's going to try and draw some attention away from this hand by talking about it like, I wasn't in the hand and I want to vomit, right? Saying things like that, like trying to make the point that this is, yeah, a really bad call, but he stands to profit from this too, in my opinion.
Jacob, you're like, you look like you want to kill me, dude.
He wants to vomit. I was not in the hand. I want to vomit. Wow.
And Garrett's face says it all.
I'm speechless. I mean, usually Garrett would be fairly congratulatory if somebody made a hero call like that, but he seems somewhat disturbed here by what just happened. I don't.
It's testing.
It's literally like the sort of most disturbed look that I've ever seen Garrett give. And obviously the reason why he'd be that is how can she call? Like maybe he thinks that she saw his hand somehow, or I don't know.
The flop goes bet call. The turn goes bet raise shove. Call.
Oh, like what? What do you mean, like raise?
128.
Bet 20,000 mini raise. No, before the flop. Before the flop.
128.3.
Oh, look
I
at
don't
that.
understand sort of what's happening right now.
Andy.
Obviously, Garrett thinks he was cheated. He doesn't know that he was cheated, but he's thinking something's not up.
You know you've let me do this to you several times now.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
I'm just testing it.
Yeah.
And
This
you
doesn't
keep
seem super
letting
funny
do
to
this.
me,
And
honestly,
no, like
but
when you bet that like high risk stack, why do you think I want to run it?
She's fumbling through her words, trying to explain why she just called. And that's the only thing she can come up with is, you know, you let me do this to you so many times. And she's getting ready to say, first of all, a little bit of a straight draw there. I have the blocker. She's going into some rambling word vomit because she cannot explain herself.
I thought you were on ace high. Ace high.
And then so why call with jack eye then?
First of all, a little bit of a straight draw, like a blocker or something.
No, on the turn though. So you called all in on the turn because.
Yeah, because you don't have shit.
That's right. She
You don't
thinks
have
you can't be a
shit.
jack high.
It's not about what I have. It's about what I don't think you have when you play against me. That's
I
it.
didn't think you had jack queen of clubs.
75.
Again, she's not doubling down on the fact that she thought she had a 3. That would have been the smart thing to do. She could have easily explained her way out of this. Garrett would have been fine with that explanation. He would have said, oh, you thought you had a 3. That's That's understandable. Wow, you really got lucky with that call, but that's not what happens because she's not smart enough to explain herself in a smart way. So she's now trying to justify her call as if she's good enough to make that call, because it's not about what she has, it's about what he doesn't have, which is what she knew before the hand started. So I think we all know how the rest of this video goes on. Robbi ends up giving the money back to Garrett. Why do we think that she would have done that? Well, I think it's for a few reasons. She doesn't want to go to jail, for one, right? So when Garrett turns this into as big of a deal as he does and leaves the game, Robbi thinks, oh man, maybe I'm going to get in trouble here. I don't want to end up going to jail for theft, right? Well, that's one explanation to it. That's my explanation to it, why she gives the money back. But I think it's, a lot of people think, oh, well, she doesn't want to upset the star of the show. Let me tell you, if I'm in a hand, I play poker all the time. If I make the best call I've ever made for $135,000, I'm not giving that money back for a second. I don't care who you are. I just made the best call ever, right? Or I got lucky somehow to make that call because I just had a feeling that I had you beat, and I made a call with Jack High for $135,000. Not a chance in hell I'm giving that money back. Not a chance in hell. That is my money now. But she doesn't feel like she deserves it. She does, because she did cheat, right? That's another reason why, because she did cheat. So she's going to give the money back because whatever's going on in her head, she doesn't want to get caught. She doesn't want to get in trouble. She wants to relieve some of this pressure that's now on her. All the cameras are on her. Everyone's talking about her. The chat's going wild about this. And those are the reasons why she gives the money back. So I think I'm going to go ahead and stop this video now. It's almost 45 minutes long. But I encourage all of you to go back and watch the hands yourself. How does she always find the magical check raise on the turn, or the magical min raise on the turn, with marginally good hands? And she tries it in this spot, and clearly it didn't work. How does she, how does she find those check raises, and where is she looking when she needs information, which is important? Every time she needs information, you find her eyes glancing outside the room where she would be looking for a simple sign. Such, it could be something as simple as somebody's sitting at the table with their arm like this, or maybe they scratch their head. It could be just a simple piece of information. It's just binary. It's yes or no, and that's all she has. She doesn't know what her opponents have, which is a lot of people are confused about that. A lot of comments that I read, people are thinking, if she knows what he has, why would she call here? Because you can choose a much better spot. It doesn't make much sense to call here when Garrett's got so much equity. She doesn't know how much equity he has. She doesn't know. She only knows she's good. So after everything is said and done here, and you see her looking for the information when she needs it, the fact that she made that really out of the blue weird statement, hold on, let me scratch my face because that's the shit I have. Nobody has ever said that in a hand that I've been involved in, or anything similar to that. So the only thing that means to me is that's her signal to her guy that you need to help me out again here, because I don't know how I could possibly be good with Jack High here. And then, after the stream, we all are aware that the guy that's involved with the live stream comes out and takes $15,000 off of her stack. I mean, to me, that's pretty obvious. That would be his cut, right? He helped with this. He helped her cheat, and he was promised, let's call it 10%, right? Well, she just won 150 grand, so 10%, 15 grand. I'm gonna go out there and take it. And that's what he does, and then again, Robbi doesn't press charges after the stream is over, or she never presses charges against the guy who tried to steal $15,000. I guess she just didn't care about that $15,000. I didn't know she was that rich, right? I don't know much about this girl at all. This is the first time I've ever seen her in this stream. But after we consider all of those factors, I think it's 100% cheating. Specifically the statement that she made, and again, where her eyes go every time she needs information. So that's it. That's all I've got for the video. I told myself I would make this video because I haven't seen anybody else really talk about those things and point them out the way that I have. So there it is. Please let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you agree, did I change your mind at all? If you were on one side or the other, does this information change your opinion at all? Thanks again for watching, guys. Again, my name is Chester Mead. A lot of you guys know me as Bruce. When I say you guys, I mean the people that I deal to on a consistent business or consistent day. So hope you guys have a good day. Thanks for watching.